Hello and welcome to the April edition of the Crowsdale Village Resident Cook-Off. You may have tuned in to previous cook-offs. We had our baking challenge first, we had a soup cook-off, and last month we had a potato cook-off. What are we tasting this month? Deviled eggs. That's right. Did you know there are so many varieties to how people make their deviled eggs? Our judges were surprised to taste so many different flavors and preparations of this beloved classic. So without further ado, let's get going.
My name is Linda Karolak. I live here in Homestead, A256, with my husband Ed. Now, I do love deviled eggs, so I am looking for flavor, texture, and maybe something a little bit different for a deviled egg.
Okay, I am Peggy Ray, and I also live with an Ed, and I was a former home ec teacher, and I am looking for flavor and texture and appearance. And I love deviled eggs too.
My name is Carter Bennett, and I've been at Crowsdale for about 6 years. And I remember my mother and grandmother making deviled eggs. I thought they were absolutely wonderful. And I'm looking forward to trying to find a deviled egg that's as good as my mother or grandmother.
Hello, my name is Fritz Reinagel, and I have to say that I have actually created several deviled egg recipes, but none of them are in today's competition. And I'm looking for the same things that these other fine people are looking for.
Remember, the judges have no idea what resident made each dish. So they are giving their honest, unfiltered opinions on each of the deviled eggs. Before we get started, I would like to thank our 6 residents who made the deviled eggs, as well as our 4 wonderful judges. So, let's taste what the judges know as egg number 1. This egg was made by resident Eva Click. Eva calls her eggs Mom's Deviled Eggs with a CV twist. Before we see what our judges think about Eva's eggs, let's get a little background information. Eva says the mustard and pickle relish used to make these eggs actually comes from the Crowsdale pub. When you order a ton of chicken wings from the pub, in an effort to use all of your dining dollars before they expire, you freeze batches of wings from later use. But what do you do with the growing stack of little containers for mustard and pickle relish that accompanied the wings? Well, aha! You have pre-measured ingredients for deviled eggs. What an awesome backstory. These really do have a CV twist. Let's see what the judges think about egg number 1.
It's good. It's creamy. It was attractively presented. It's got a smooth texture. It's got something a little bit sweet to my taste, which is not bad. It's good. But that was my little bit different, I think. I like it.
Egg number 1, I like it. It has nice flavor. I think the sweet taste in it is pickle, which I like because I like to put pickle or pickle juice in my eggs. So it was also attractive, and I liked it.
Well, I thought it was well cooked. I thought it was a little on the blah side. And otherwise, it was a nice egg.
I agree that I think that it may be a little too sweet, and I think you could use something with a little tartness to it, and maybe something with a little more crunch to the texture. But other than that, I did enjoy it.
Next up, we have egg number 2. The judges just know this is the second egg they're tasting. They don't know that these eggs are made by former cook-off champion Lou Van Bruggen. Lou calls these her Western touch deviled eggs. And she says, "When I cook, I like to go off track and make my own creations." She said, it doesn't always turn out well. Let's see if the judges think Lou Van Bruggen's own creation of the Western touch egg was a success. Judges?
Egg number 2 says it's Western, and I taste a little bit of maybe bacon or something in it. But the texture is not quite as smooth, and I like a smoother texture. It was an attractive egg, and I think it was good, but not fantastic.
Well, I thought that this one was not quite as blah, and it was well cooked, and I liked the sort of like bacon flavor in it.
This kind of disappointed me. I thought Western touch would have a little more cowboy kick. So I thought it was kind of bland. It definitely needed a little more salt. And again, I like mine that have something in them that have a little bit of crunch to them.
Okay, egg number 2 was attractively presented. It had a nice parsley garnish on top. It was mounded up on the egg half nicely. I tasted definitely more salt than in egg number 1. Not a bad thing, but just a notice. As far as the so-called Western touch, I expected a little bit more kick. I did detect some sort of meaty flavor, such as bacon. I liked it. A little bit different from egg number 1, so it's an interesting experience as we go along.
Egg number 3. The judges only know it that way. They don't know that this egg was submitted by resident Stephen Harper, our only male participant as a resident chef this month. A fun fact about this deviled egg, which we're calling the unnamed deviled eggs because Stephen didn't have a title for his concoction. His wife was also going to enter this month's cook-off, Sarah Harper, but she didn't want to embarrass her husband publicly by beating him in the cook-off. So Mr. Harper is the sole one of the relationship who entered the cook-off today. Let's see what the judges think about this egg.
Well, it has quite a good taste, I think. It also seems to be well cooked, and I would say that it has a little more kick than the other eggs. Yeah, it has a good taste.
Number 3 was quite different than the others. I would say that the comment of it having some kick to it, a little spicy, a little peppery kick, was very good. Again, I guess it's my taste. I like a little more salt in my deviled eggs. And again, it perhaps was a little bit too uniform on the texture side. Something with a little texture contrast would have been good.
Okay, egg number 3. It had a very attractive garnish on top, which I liked. It was a little basil leaf and a little piece of red pepper. It has a nice smooth texture, which I happen to like. It did have more kick than the other 2 eggs. Not too much, I don't think, but it was good. I really liked egg number 3.
Okay, egg number 3 is Stephen's egg, and I think he has a hot egg. I am still tasting the flavor after water, and I like something less hot, but it was very good if you like hot things. And there was also a touch of sweetness in it, and I also liked the garnish. It made it very attractive with the red and the green. So it was, I liked it. My grandkids would very much like it because of the hotness. But I like something a little milder.
Next up, we have egg number 4. The judges know that the egg is titled Bill Neal's Deviled Eggs. They don't know that Bill Neal's deviled eggs were created and entered by Judy Bolt. Judy says, deviled eggs began as a staple for Easter dinner and have become a staple at every occasion. We even have to have one for the grand dog. She says her husband Greg is her deviled egg decorator. Let's see what the judges think about the Bolts' take on what they call Bill Neal's deviled eggs.
Egg number 4, finally something that really kind of clicks with me. It had that crunchy texture that I enjoy. It had a little more salt than the other eggs. And all I can say is that I'm glad number 4 submitted their egg recipe.
It had a pretty garnish on top. I detected pickle relish kind of sprinkled on the top with a little piece of sweet red pepper. Very attractive. It's got a smooth texture. I think as far as salt and pepper goes, it's just about right. I liked egg number 4.
Egg number 4, I distinguished some flavor that I couldn't distinguish. But it was an interesting flavor, and I liked egg number 4. It, again, had an attractive topping. And I love the way Linda describes things. She covers it very well.
Well, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a little on the blah side, and but it was also well cooked. And I thought that the olive, I think it was green olive, was a nice addition.
Next up, the judges are tasting egg number 5. These eggs were made by Claudia Haskins, and she calls them her deviled eggs a la BLT. She says, I love BLTs with smoky bacon and summer fresh tomatoes. But after a year of little exercise and added poundage, carbs have to go. She says, I can still have the taste of a summer BLT sandwich by eating a few bites of a deviled no-carb BLT. Let's see what our judges think about this take on the BLT from Claudia Haskins.
Okay, egg number 5. Once again, it had an especially attractive garnish. This egg has a BLT theme, which I think is popular with a lot of us. So the garnish on top was a half of a cherry tomato. The lettuce part, I believe, was a piece of arugula, which is nice. And it had a piece of real bacon on top, as opposed to bacon bits, which is especially nice. I like this egg. I like the flavor. I like BLTs, so this was a little bit different in that it had that BLT sort of flavor, I think. I think it was nicely seasoned. It's probably my favorite egg so far. Thank you.
All right, number 5 was fun in appearance. I liked the bacon and the cherry tomato. And yet I thought the egg part of the egg was a little bland. I didn't taste that much seasoning in it. And it wasn't my favorite egg, but it was my favorite one to look at.
No, the egg itself was well cooked, but I found that the filling was also rather blah. And I thought the bacon was too big a piece for that size egg. So but it was very pretty.
Well, I like the fact that we had a theme to put on the egg. Although my particular piece seemed to be a little light on the tomato, I'm not sure that I had a good part of that tomato. The only thing I would say that if I was talking to the person who created this, if I were serving it at a party, I would probably stick the bacon in at the last minute before I passed the tray, because I think it just lost almost all of its bacon crunch, absorbing the liquid in the yolk. So, good presentation, just an average taste experience.
Last but not least, we have deviled egg number 6. The judges know that these are called Elaine's easy to make deviled eggs. They don't know that Elaine is our very own resident Elaine Scagnelli. She makes these easy to make deviled eggs with only 3 ingredients. She says, "My grandchildren love these eggs and expect them to be at every family celebration. No matter how many I make, there are never any leftovers." Let's see what the judges think and if they also can't get enough of Elaine's easy to make eggs.
This looked like it was garnished with paprika and parsley, and I like paprika on an egg, and I really like the flavor of this egg. It had a nice consistency, and I don't know what they used in the flavor, but I enjoyed that egg.
Yeah, well, I think that was one of the 6 that had perhaps the most aggressive flavor. So it was really awakening my taste buds, you might say. And when I see something called easy to make, I'm always reminded that sometimes less is more. So it fills the bill. I enjoyed it.
Well, I see that I ate all of it, so I must have liked it. Once again, I think it's already been mentioned. It had the paprika and parsley on top. The paprika flavor did come through, and I like that. That's a traditional touch for a deviled egg, and I liked it. The parsley, I think, was maybe dried parsley, and I prefer fresh. Just a texture difference. I thought the The yolk part was seasoned nicely, and the egg tasted very good. I liked it.
I think that egg number 6, the yolk was very good. I thought whatever's in there, and I guess probably like Peggy said, the paprika, I thought it was very tasty.
Well, this little contest was a great idea. I enjoy sitting here eating this. So bring it on, bring it on. I thought that number 6 was a little bit ahead of the rest of the field. So looking forward to the next round. Thank you.
Well, if I were at a party, any of these eggs would have been very good. And I appreciate the people at Crowsdale that created them. And I think that this type of thing should be encouraged. I would like to get my wife involved.
Well, it was fun and they were really good. And I think we should add number 6 to the cafe menu. It was nice to have such a variety. I didn't know you could do that many different things with deviled eggs. And again, thank you for all the people that gave us this special treat. And I'm going to work on some of them I didn't finish.
Okay, first of all, I want to thank everyone who submitted their luscious deviled eggs. Deviled eggs are a favorite of a lot of people, including me. I really enjoyed actually all of them. It was fun to see the little individual touches that people put on the eggs. I think this was a great idea. And so I thank everyone for making this cook-off possible. I think it was a fun idea.
Let's see who the winner is of this month's Crowsdale Village Resident Cook-Off. Thank you so much to our 4 judges for working tirelessly to taste these 6 eggs, give their opinions, and score each one anywhere between 1 and 10 points. We won't publicize the point value for each egg, but we are happy to announce which one got the highest score by a long shot. And that was egg number 6, Elaine Scagnelli's easy to make deviled eggs. Congratulations, Miss Scagnelli. Your eggs were the judges' absolute favorite. But like our judges said in their closing remarks, all of the eggs were delicious, and we cannot thank all of our participants enough. So thank you again to our judges, our chefs, and to all of you for tuning in to this month's Resident Cook-Off. And if you want to know the simple recipe with just 3 ingredients, ask Elaine Scagnelli how she made these award-winning deviled eggs. Thanks so much, Crowsdale, and we'll see you next time.
And